Welcome, everybody, to the Awake and Sober podcast, a podcast about life and recovery through Christ. I was on beat with that still.
Hey.
How we all doing, y'all? Everybody doing all right?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Doing better today than I have been in the last couple of days. I'll tell you that much right now.
You know, it seems like a roller coaster sometimes, don't it?
It does, man. And the thing is, you can't jump off. You got to stay on.
Yeah, even though you don't want to.
Even though I don't want to, you know. And the last couple of days, you know, it's one of those like, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. You know, but I'm grateful that I'm still here. I'm grateful that I'm still sober. I'm grateful I get to do what I do, and I'm grateful I got you guys in my life. And
it's funny. This too shall pass, but dang it, can it pass yesterday?
Yeah, please.
It's like a kidney
Hurry
stone
up,
sometimes.
dang it.
Please. Just go. Let me pass this thing.
Right.
Man,
But you know what? It's not my time. It's God's time.
There you go.
And there's always a good lesson in it.
Every time.
And you got to remember, when you're going down on that roller coaster ride, you can throw your hands up and scream.
That's true.
Sometimes it
Take
helps.
the wheel, man. Take the wheel.
Throw your hands up and scream.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do, though.
Yeah, I will. I do.
You can even throw your hands up and scream when you're going up.
Uh-huh.
Just not at the beginning. Then you look kind of foolish, like
Yeah.
when it's cranking up there.
Like,
yeah. As you're flipping over in a circle and going up, man, you might as well.
this guy really loves roller coasters.
Yeah, buddy.
No, man, I'm doing well, though. It's good to be back. It's good to see you guys. Derek, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. I can't complain. I'm going to be honest, man. Having 3 days off in a row kind of stinks.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? But it's
I disagree, but okay.
well, that's on y'all, man. Everybody's got their own thoughts.
You ain't wrong.
So, I don't know, man. I just feel if I'm not there those 3 days, that something's going to be missed. I don't know. And I just like to be there for my own people and all, but at the same time, I do enjoy the time off, especially when I don't have to wake up and worry what time I got to be at work. But
You sound like you're in touch with your codependent side.
yeah, I'm working on that part. Call my sponsor after I the podcast.
I'm like, worried about work? Man, don't worry about work. You're at home.
But it's not that I'm worried about work when I'm at home. It's just, you know, we do have individuals that really don't care to be there. We got to admit it, and they just whatever, and that's not what I'm concerned about. It's those individuals that are actually putting forth the work, and they have the issue already of sharing with one individual, but then having to open up to another one. And I try to, it's like, hey man, this Mike's going to be here or Casey's going to be here. They're good people. You can speak with them, whatnot. Still, I know that, they're waiting to talk to me.
Yeah.
And 3 days is a big gap in between, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got to trust other people, though.
I know.
They've got to learn
Just
to trust
like
other
us.
people.
I have a hard time doing that.
What, trusting other people?
Surrendering, letting go of that. Like, I was actually told by our astute boss to let other people do their jobs.
Astute boss?
Mm-hmm.
The hell is astute boss?
Astute.
Astute.
She's on top of things. She knows what's going on. She knows what's going on with me.
Okay.
Let people do their jobs. I was like, but I want to do it. Well, that's why we got a full staff. So
More
surrender.
control.
I said
hear
control.
a lot of
thing.
control today.
So much control, man. It's a lot
Yeah,
of
a
control.
lot of control, and that's coming from a person that don't care about any control.
Yeah, Shane, how's your control going? I'm fine. It's all fine. I'm fine.
Oh, man, yeah. Celebrate Recovery's been a blast.
It has. It is.
Except for I had no voice last night. It's a little bit better today. But the first chip night was not what I wanted it to be, control, but it was what it needed to be, giving up control.
Was there a testimony last night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to have one this upcoming week, too.
Cool.
Christina had planned, whenever they planned, her and Kara sat down and planned out a lot of the calendar for me. And when they did it, they had CR Easter to be done last night. Well, it's after Easter.
Yeah.
I've been sick. I haven't been wanting to write. And I'm like, I'm going to just call somebody and let me get a good codependent testimony for us. And so I brought in Ginger, and she came in and did her testimony, did a phenomenal job. I love testimonies anyway. Mm-hmm. So brought her in, and then Victoria will be sharing her testimony this upcoming Tuesday. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll have back-to-back testimonies.
I got to rewrite mine.
Victoria's a nut. I really like Victoria.
She is a nut.
She's really cool. She did a great lesson last week.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. I enjoyed that.
She does a good job. I like the nail in the head. It's not about the nail.
Yeah. Yeah, that was gold.
Yeah, so I just love the freedom that we get in Celebrate Recovery. You know, we have certain aspects that we have to cover. Mm-hmm. You have to keep, certain scripture in the acrostic. But other than that, have fun. Make it entertaining. Make it, where people can receive it.
Yeah.
We're not there as a sideshow, but yet we're not there to be really boring and just read out of a book or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't no Sunday morning preachers is what he's trying to say.
What he's trying to say. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think our preachers are boring at the bridge, though.
No, they're not.
I think they do a really good job. I know there's a guy that I would love to come back to hear another message there. Since we're not speaking on the message that we were speaking on when they first walked in the door, I think it'd be good for them. They learn, oh my goodness, the hearts in this place are unreal. And but yeah, other than that, Celebrate Recovery has put me back, I think, where I needed to be. There was something missing, and that was it. That was that big piece that was missing in my life. Never realized that something like that could be that big of a part of you, and that you would miss it that much, knowing that you're going somewhere else.
It was 10 years of your life, man, at first. And then it just more or less was just taken away. So,
yeah, but I went to First Assembly, right?
Right, but I think it's different, the fact, the part of being a part of what you had brought together as opposed to something that's already going on. You played a big role in the creation of Celebrate Recovery at that particular spot. And then you had that position, and it was your position for all them years, and it was kind of like a bad divorce. It broke up what you had left,
Way to make him feel great, Derek.
Nah.
I'm just being 100.
But
No. I know.
But if that's what it is, then that's the wrong motive on my side. You know what I mean? And so I hope that's not what it is. It's our home church. And that's what I hope.
Yeah.
Because the other side, it makes it because it's not my ministry, it's God's ministry that we get to be a part of. And so really, I hope that it's just because, one, it's close to home, two, it's our home church, and we're building something together. Because my whole goal is not to be ministry leader at all.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want it. I just want to sit back and watch people do and be a part of. Let me serve you however you need to be served, and let me be a part of. And but I think it was missing the serving part. So now I get to serve again.
Yeah, that's where I was getting to.
Yeah, but you almost made it sound like it was mine, and like
No.
And I'm like, yeah, but it's not mine.
I was getting to the service that you put forth, and that you weren't doing that so much at First Assembly.
Just chip night.
Right.
Yeah, just chip night. That's all I would do over there, which is fun. I love chip night.
Well, I know you do.
But yeah, being a part of being able to serve people, I think that's what was missing. So,
You know what never goes missing? Unless you're me? Our Tactile Turn pens. Let's talk about the sponsor a little bit.
yeah, buddy.
We want to talk about Tactile Turn.
Yeah.
You can find them at tactileturn.com. You got a knife?
I didn't bring a pen in, but I got the
Hey,
Tactile
look at
Turn
that.
fixed blade here.
Nice.
My pens are all out there because I got pickleball shorts on.
Fantastically, there you go. Fantastically crafted pens, knives, flashlights, all of that stuff.
All of it, man.
Go to tactileturn.com.
Hopefully soon, paper.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
and
notebooks.
they've been talking about notebooks.
That's what I meant is
That's what I'm
notebooks,
after,
yeah.
yeah. They're going to make their own paper, folks. It's a big deal.
Yeah, cut down their own trees.
We also want to say, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. We are on all podcast platforms. Like us, leave a message. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We appreciate all your guys' feedback.
Yeah,
And
sure.
we're looking forward to
reading
some of your guys' stories. So
Share us on your social media.
yeah,
That's a good place to do it.
Yeah. If you're listening to us and you're on our social media, put it out there. Let other people come and notice it.
Yeah, because most people have at least 2 friends on social media.
at least. Yeah.
Somewhere between 2 to 10.
Well, you get Mark right off the top, right? Every time you open up a new account. So you got that one. And then,
Do you really?
I don't know if you do it anymore. I know you did it at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm friends with Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm gonna have to go delete him. Unfriend him.
Yeah, he's a cyborg.
I'm gonna unfriend him.
But no, it just got brought to my attention that we're not doing that enough. And obviously we're not that social media savvy. So if you're out there and you are put us out there for us. We'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Colby.
That's
Colby.
the funny thing, that's who brought it to my attention today, too.
Yeah.
And Colby's supposed to put it out there for us. I don't know if he has been.
No.
So we'll have to make him do that again.
We'll tie him
We
up.
might have to
Make it
bring him
happen.
back on the podcast just to get him to do so. Relight that flame in him for us.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I mean, with what he's doing now, it'd be fun to bring him back on and talk about more, not his story, but like we did with Brent. Because, I mean, he's been in the wedding planner role for a while now, and he's doing really good at it.
He actually just got recognized as the top alumni coordinator in Summit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That don't surprise me. I've read his
Not at all.
post from yesterday. I mean, it's the perfect role for that cat.
It really is. He's killing it, man.
Yeah. And how would you have liked that role?
Oh, not a chance. For everyone out there doesn't know, I was up for that job, and I think the smartest thing I ever did for myself was not take it, because I would have. There's no way I could have done it like he does it
No.
at all.
And I mean, we all tried our butts off to get you to see it just by you writing it out, and he was going to take it, and I'm like, oh man, it's going to be miserable.
But then I heard that he was going to get. I was like, oh, yes, thank you goodness. So, and he took it, and he's running with it. So,
Yeah, and he's
props,
fabulous
Colby.
at it. What are we talking about today? I think we skipped past that too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Just getting
'cause
back
we
together.
can just dive into it.
Yeah, we're going to talk today about fear versus pride.
Ooh, I like fear versus pride. Some good.
Why are we
scriptures.
talking about that?
Because when we're doing a 4-step, we are on step 4, right?
There you
In
go.
our step series. I feel like sometimes we're either afraid to put down our past transgressions or the things that we want to really, process through, or we're too prideful to put those things down. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Not at all?
No, not at
That's
all.
okay.
So I guess we got to dig a little deeper into it.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So fear can interrupt processes in our brains that allow us to regulate emotions, read nonverbal cues, and other information presented to us, reflect before acting, and act ethically. So fear will actually not allow us to act ethically. Excuse me, that's a
Forget everything and run.
forget everything and run. Absolutely. It also can negatively impact our thinking and decision making, leaving us susceptible to intense emotions and impulsive reactions. That's the thing that I really wanted to hit on was susceptible to intense emotions and impulsive reactions. Because everything we're trying to do in recovery is trying to stop impulsive reactions, right?
But
We're trying to confront those intense emotions. Maybe not confront, but we're trying to learn to cope with them and learn with them through coping skills, not mechanisms.
Confront's a good word. We don't want to go around it. We want to go through it.
Yeah.
We want to hit that stuff head on. We need to face it and rise, or face it and recover, however you want to put it. But yeah, we can't run from it. We can't go around it. We can't go over it, under it. Just go right through it. Meet that thing head on.
like a defensive lineman going for that quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Crushing through it.
Yeah. Hit through. Don't hit him.
You know, unless the DB's coming up.
Yeah.
Cornerback blitz or something.
Yeah.
But either way, you're coming through.
Yeah. Right.
That little cornerback's not afraid of, your offensive lineman trying to block him.
He's too dang quick for the guy anyways.
Right.
So, in our own 4th steps that we have done, was there anything that you were too proud to share maybe on your first one?
Everything. I was too prideful to do it because I didn't really think I needed to do it. Had to do it because it was part of my step study that I was on, so I had to do my homework for the week. But really getting into a 4th step, it wasn't happening.
I was going to say, I don't think we answer questions, but that's not the 4th step.
No.
So it's,
It was the kind of the quick layout of a 4th step, what we were kind of supposed to do. And
Yeah.
I did that part.
no, I had fun. I dove in on mine. I wrote a whole book, 5-subject notebook full of stuff. I mean, I dove in and had a blast on the first one. I think the only things that I missed were what God was keeping from me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote out everything I could think of.
Yeah.
the problem that I didn't like was it was all negatives, and it took me to a bad place.
Mine, I was afraid to share some of the things. I really was, and it wasn't about pride. It was just about how is someone else going to receive the things that have transpired in my life, the things that I've done. So I was scared of what the reaction possibly was going to be.
Or were you too prideful what people might think about what you wrote?
Could be that too. Yeah.
Because it's fear and it's pride.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little mixture of both.
I eventually got through it. I eventually brought it up and processed it. And
yeah, but did you bring those things up the first time, or did you wait until later to bring up those things that you were worried about or fearful of or prideful of?
I think I waited, and I did it. I did an initial one, and then it was like, yeah, that's not enough. So I went back and did another one. It was funny because you'll hear in the rooms like, oh, I did this, this, and this, and then you'll have the old timers like, that's it, that's all you did, really, So that was nice to hear because it was like you're okay. It's like you're not. We've all done bad things,
And it's an ongoing thing too. I mean, you're not gonna your first pass. You're not gonna get everything out.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote a lot, but I still didn't get everything out. I mean, if we were to get honest and go through our entire life up until the day we finally quit, those who have hurt us and those that we've hurt, do you know how long that takes?
Forever.
For real. Yeah.
No, seriously.
And because when you finally get over to the my part of it and you start talking about how this character defect led me to hurt this person, this person, this person, this person, you just keep expanding, and it's like, oh my goodness, is this ever going to end? And so you take what you have and you go with that 4-step to your sponsor at the moment, but you keep writing it. You keep working on it. You keep adding to it. As God continues to reveal things to you, then you work on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, until I fully surrender and I'm looking to God for my strength and not my strength, God keeps some things from me that I'm not ready to handle yet because I'm not leaning on Him enough.
Yeah. When the first time I came to do a 4-step, the guy, my sponsor at the time, was like, you don't have to do the different little columns or the different things. Write it off in a story. Like, okay, so I did a couple things. That was just something to turn into him when I met with him that week. Wasn't nothing I really dug into.
That's one of those ways you can make it palatable. What's the most comfortable way that you can get those things out? You know what I mean? So your fear or your pride doesn't come too much into it. So it's like, it doesn't matter how you do it. It's get it out.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Initially, okay? So you want to get it out, but then at the same time, you have someone there walking you through it like, okay, this is where this was, this is what happened.
Yeah, because
what was your part?
When you look at a 4-step, I mean, there's a purpose to it.
Yeah.
You could tell a story, and that's good. It'll get the brain going, the juices flowing, and you'll be able to write on some things, but there's a reason why you had the cause, the effect, the damage, the my part.
Guilty or not?
It's when you're looking at these things and you're running through it, what was the damage? What was the cause, the effect, the damage to it? And I can look at why I am the way I am through all these things. And then when I get into the character defects of what character defects came out of that, I'm able to see a full roadmap and take this back and actually have God redo that mapping for me. So that's why it's so important.
Yeah, I spoke with some, I had an individual that I've been speaking with, and I shared with them about doing a 4-step, and I just gave the layout that you gave me. And, I pull up one of the ones I took a picture of and sent to you, and I shared that with them and show them how I did it. And they was like, what is this, my part? What was your part in it? Well, what if it wasn't anything? Well, look at this one. It says, not guilty. That was my part in that situation. It's like, I've never done a 4-step, because he's been in the program before. So he's like, I've never done a 4-step where my part was something that I put into it. Why isn't it, Because that's how we find our character defects, really, is when we recognize our part in it.
Yeah.
And when we do that, we can and he actually did, I had him do a negative one and a positive one. And he was like, dude, nobody's ever shown me positive. And it made it so much easier to do the negative one, knowing that I had a positive one done already.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that was the point I'm trying to get across to you. And when I was talking with my group, I'm like, yes, I don't want to hear a bunch of negative crap coming out on your 4-step. Because your lives aren't terrible. There was good things that happened. And you need to recognize those just as well as the bad stuff that has happened.
Yeah.
And we can become more joyful when we see the good stuff happening, because not only does it give us a roadmap for our character defects, it helps us recognize our character assets even more, that we can actually project them more and replace the defects with.
The fear of a 4-step.
Yep.
Where do you think it comes from?
The enemy.
The enemy.
He's out to get us.
Yeah. Satan.
Not that powerful.
No. No, he's not. I would say the fear of judgment. I would say the fear of inadequacy. I would say the fear of
Reliving it,
but also like the fear of isolation. You know, like if you say some of these things, what are, you know, are people still going to talk to me? You know, what's going to happen after this? The fear of the unknown. Like what
are people going to think about this?
Exactly, right. And will I still be accepted in this this life of recovery, you know, in this tribe? Spoiler alert, you will be accepted still. So that's good.
And that's what's funny about like hearing some of those things. How are people going to look at me? Well, look, this program's been around for how many years?
Almost 100.
Are you that prideful? You think you're the only one that's done this stuff?
Or you're the only person this has ever happened to?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
fear
right,
versus pride.
Yeah.
Are you really that prideful that you think you're the only one that's done this or that much?
Right.
Yeah.
So is that us doing a bad job at preparing people? Because really, this program's been going for a long time. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have done a lot of 4-steps. What is it that we're doing to create fear in the 4-step?
I don't know if it's anybody like creating fear. I want to say that it might be just people's fear of change, a fear of what good might come from it. Because I had like a real fear of like success for a long time.
Right.
A fear of responsibility. You know, I wanted responsibility. I was afraid what would happen if I had it, you know. But this thing is like I have a responsibility to myself to get this stuff out, and I'm afraid to take that responsibility for myself, that accountability for myself. So I don't know if it's coming from like an outside source. I feel like it's coming from an inward.
So let me throw this at you.
Yeah.
When I first got into recovery, everybody said, just wait till you get to your 4-step. Wait, and you got to dig into all these things. You know, we lose so many people to 4-step. All this negative talk came about the 4-step.
Never mind. I retract everything I just said because, yeah, every time you talk about the 4-step, it's like, oh, buddy, wait till you get there. Why?
And so that's part of my question is how much of that plays into everybody's fear of the 4-step? What happens if we just treated the 4-step like any other step? I mean, this is the most freeing step you're going to take before the 9th is the 4th. What if we prepared people the right way? What if we talked about it the right way? Because to me, when looking at it, it is a beautiful step to work through. Because it's the only step that shows us this roadmap of how we became the person that we became. Mm-hmm. Good, bad, ugly, in between, you name it. It's the only step that does that.
We also said last week, you know, it's the first action step.
I think the 3rd step's the first action.
Yeah. I'm more with the 3rd step.
I would say that the 4th step is the first time that I would say physically action. Like, okay, 3rd step, made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God.
That was more or less surrender.
Right?
Yeah.
That's surrender, right? But this is the first time that you're actually diving in to your character defects.
Which you can't do without
Surrender.
first making Jesus Lord and Savior of your life. Having a God of your understanding, making God God. Mm-hmm. That's an action. You don't go anywhere else without that.
Yeah.
Now, a physical action of writing and doing it, I agree 100%. It's when you're really taking an inward look. Mm-hmm. And stuff's about to get real. But it's going to get real in a good way. You're going to understand who you are, why you are that way, and what you could do about it. I mean, it's a therapist's greatest tool that they have.
Yeah.
This is when I shared the individual I shared just a few minutes ago. He wrote out his character defects, and he's like, "I get what you mean by that roadmap and stuff, because now that I know I was this way, and it may have been because of this, but I know that I was this way towards this person, and I want to end up having to make the amends for that. But then I looked even deeper, and this actually started back here, and I only felt it here because it was a similar situation, but I'm like, wow. And he's sharing this in the 1030 group in front of everybody in there.
It's a beautiful thing.
Right? You know
Yeah.
what I'm so
Oh yeah.
But when you see that character defect manifest, right?
Yeah.
Because it started small here and then it just keeps going and going and going and growing and growing. And you get to see, I don't know, I think if we were to set people up for success, talk about a 4-step and how beautiful it is. Yes, it's painful, but at the same time, it's not. If you do some assets,
Right.
some good instead of just all bad, man, you start keeping those things balanced. And now we have people looking at things in recovery a lot different.
well, that's just the thing. In AA, do they push the doing the positive AA, the positive 4-step?
My sponsor did.
Okay.
I feel like, and I feel like it depends on your sponsor. Who was the type of what kind of person is leading you through these steps? I feel like when I eventually sponsor, which I will, I'm just not going to do it right just yet. But, I don't want to focus on the negative, like being a counselor. Like I want to focus on the positive things because the positive things are going to keep you going. The negative things are going to put you back into those old behaviors.
You got to work through those negatives.
Yeah,
but let's not live
at
there.
the same time, I say you can't change them, but we can learn from them. Let's learn from them so we can turn those defects into positive assets. Let's turn those mechanisms into tools or skills. You know what I mean?
But we have to identify them. And in order to do so, we're going to have to dive into some negative crap.
Yep.
We don't have to live there again.
No. That's the beauty of it, too.
We could go visit real quick, figure it out, and we come right back.
You just flick the lights on, you're fine.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, I say, identify, process, implement, proceed.
What was it?
Identify, process, implement, proceed. Basically, catch it, check it, change it.
Right.
But you identify the issue, you process what the issue was and why it's making you feel the way it is. You implement skills to alleviate said issue. You proceed in a healthy manner.
I think once you get into that, where you start really processing as you're writing these out, you start. I don't know. I kind of encourage people don't jump right into the deepest, darkest spot because that could be scary. Do something light and kind of work your way into it. And you may think that okay, I could do this and walk on and continue on the rest of the steps. But I guarantee you get that them character defects come out and you start seeing the deeper, darker where they may have actually came from, and you want to start processing that. But build yourself up to that point,
I like what you said last week about the weight set. That was a good analogy. Like
Yeah.
You're not gonna max out immediately. You work up to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just,
Don't spend forever working up to it.
yeah. No, don't spend forever working up to it.
We don't need a 2-year 4-step.
No, that's not a good.
And lots of people have, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years stuck on this 4-step. And it's like, no wonder you're still an angry son of a gun. You ain't changed nothing.
No, the steps are made to they're made to be gotten through.
Yeah.
They're made to be completed. And then you know what? You can start them all over again. That's the beauty of it.
Well, you are going to start them because you're going to miss a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You're not going to. You could be as thorough as you can be the first time, but let's not be ridiculously thorough that you don't get through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would be a lot of fear usually stopping them from doing it.
Yeah.
But I do believe that if we started talking and looking at a 4-step differently, maybe people wouldn't have such a huge fear. Because we're bad about it in Celebrate Recovery. We warn people whenever they're getting ready to do a step study. We have 15 people in this step study. Half of them are going to fall out of the 4-step. We talk about this.
By the time we get to book 2,
And
once we start book 2,
if we were never to bring that up, nobody would know, so everybody would stay. The majority of the people would stay because if we talked about the 4-step or how good it is, how refreshing it is, how restoring it is, how helpful it is to get to see. Everybody wants to get their DNA done. Here's your DNA. Here's the DNA of why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
right?
Let's figure it out. Let's have some fun.
I dig it.
I don't know, man. It'd be a hard change to make, but we could start small somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd love for a listener here. Why don't you write in and tell us what you think of the 4-step? Is it really hard, or is that a bunch of crap?
It's a good question.
Because I love them.
Or also write in what was keeping you from doing your 4-step that maybe you never got through it.
Yeah,
Was it fear? Was it pride? What was it?
combo of both.
Could be a combo of both. I saw this and I put it on the paper. Every time we let fear hinder us in an opportunity to share the gospel, we are proudly regarding our emotions as a more trustworthy portent of the future than the promises of God are.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
So when we when we have an opportunity and we don't take it, I guess what I'm thinking of this is we're thinking that our emotions are more trustworthy than God's promise. So should we trust in our own emotions or should we trust in God's promises?
Proverbs 3:5 says not to, not to lean on our own understanding and trust in God's.
There you go.
And I was going to save it to the end, but I guess I could come back to it. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power, love, and self-control.
Self-control and love, which is something that you gain almost immediately after you do your 4th step. I know for me,
you figure a lot out.
You figure a lot out, and I know for me, it was like the shining light on what I do have control over and what I don't have control over. I only have control over my reactions, my thoughts, and my emotions. That's it.
Yes, and
well, when you really break it down, and that's why I propose this all the time to clients is like, what are you trying to control, and then why are you trying to control it?
Right.
What is the purpose?
That's a good question, though. That really is. What's my heart? What's my motive?
Yeah. What's your why?
Ooh, know your why.
Know your why.
Yeah, it's but fear, God did not give us. I mean, He did not give us a spirit of fear. He did not create us to have fear. We know with Him all things are possible.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think we're fearful. One, we doubt our own abilities, which we should. We've screwed a lot of things up along the way. I mean, we've done a lot of bad things, but we messed a lot of stuff up along the way. We're traveling to something that we don't know, so then we're definitely not going to be good at it. But we got to realize this is why the 3rd step's so important. Once you have a higher power, God, Jesus, you are going to have the most amazing tour guide.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, He's going to walk a journey with you and get you through any of these struggles. You're going to have a band of brothers or sisters around you that are going to lift you up and help you through it. You don't have to do it alone. It's no longer about isolating. It's no longer about those things. Now, if we're going to isolate, that's on us.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll have a group of people around you that want to be with you, that want to help you.
I try to encourage that to our members and stuff. Like, you think, because you're in here, it's easy to talk to people. You got the safety net, da-da-da-da. You got the same thing out there. You just got to get to the meetings and talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be right there with you, walking it out with you, because that's what they do.
Walk it out.
Walk it out. I walk it out.
Saw that coming.
I don't
like it.
It's music. It's music.
Yeah, you got to have one music,
This is true. Yeah, you have to have one.
What else is fearful?
I think you're afraid of the pain, man. A lot of it, because you writing up. I know one of the last 4 steps one of the last inventories I did, I got into something really deep and hard for me. I didn't want to see that. I never wanted to see the individual that I was writing about in that view. And that's one of the things I was afraid of, but I knew I had to get it because it was touching on my heart and I had to let it be known. So we're talking about an individual that I had the utmost respect for, the most love for, that I would have gave my own life for, that I freaking hated for a reason. And I did not know why. And so I was afraid to feel that, what I was going to feel towards the individual after all I've known all my life was I felt this way. But I knew if I did that 4th step, I was going to feel something, and I was afraid of that.
And
I forgave him. It's over.
So how'd you feel about him?
I was upset. But
for how long?
I don't know, probably till I called you. Talked to my sponsor. It didn't last as long as I thought it would.
And now you still have love.
I do. I still love the individual, and but it was just, that's something I was afraid of.
Right. But
so
if we tell that whole story, then we know that we don't have anything to fear.
Right.
But we got to play that record through. We got to play it all the way through. Play that tape through, right to the end. We can't stop here, but we set everybody up for this fear. But when we're done, it don't last long, because all of a sudden we're gonna get to our character defects, in our 6th and 7th, and then 8th and 9th we're making amends and offering forgiveness. Those steps come pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll just dive in and do the work, those steps come pretty quick, and all of a sudden we have this forgiveness in our heart, and it's real forgiveness. It's not this fake stuff that
oh, you're forgiven.
It's not this sugarcoating.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, and they look at me and they get kind of mad. I'm like, it sounds like you haven't forgiven yet. Yeah, I forgave him. You did. Then what's this?
all
me,
this, you need to change all of this.
You would not be this way if you've forgiven them. I promise you. You say you have, but there's something lurking inside there that you haven't forgiven yet.
I think that's one of my questions for him too. Is like they're like, I forgave him. Have you? I think I did.
Yeah, it's
Why are you still mad? What are you mad at then?
Yeah.
it's because there's something that whatever he just did here or she did here that reminds you of this that you haven't forgiven yet. So go right on this, and then forgive that. And then once you do, you won't hold that crap anymore.
It's that roadmap,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, because there's not a lot to fear when it comes to, for me, the 4-step. I get why we do. It's because that's how we're told to fear it.
Right.
It's a scary thing. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's-
we're conditioned to fear like, oh, it's like the boogeyman.
yeah.
Like when I first got into recovery, it's like, is the boogeyman? I was like, hold on, I have to be honest with myself, and that's supposed to be scary.
Yeah, the Candyman.
Candyman can.
Really.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, it's terrifying. But no, like, and I love that, if we talk more about it, about how prosperous the 4-step could be. I think a lot less people would be afraid of it, and a lot more people would probably be more willing to do one.
And we'll have a lot more long-term sobriety.
And we'll have a lot more long-term sobriety. Let's say, yeah.
I mean, we just would. It's going to hurt, but it's going to hurt for how long, D?
Doesn't until you get to the rest of the steps, and you end up forgiving and make the amends, even if they're gone. You still write that letter out to them, tell them how you felt, and boom, burn it. It's over with.
All of a sudden, you have a greater love for them than you ever had.
Yeah.
Because there was always something in there that you knew anyway, but you just tried to shove it down instead of work through it. And so now all of a sudden, when that stuff is gone, you have this whole heart to love with, not just these little pieces here and there. And God wants our whole heart, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a challenge for us all with our sponsees. We're supposed to lift up the 4-step. No more tearing it down.
And we'll have to move into the pride, I'm sure, because then people will be prideful about it. But I'd rather deal with that in a way than the fear side. I want people to experience the freedom of a 4-step.
Right.
What it's meant to truly do.
For sure.
And doesn't it say 365 times in the Bible, fear not, for I am with you?
I don't know exactly how many times, but we can count.
He counted. He counted.
No, I actually heard it on
Can't
another
count that
podcast.
high.
He can't count.
He can't count that high. He don't have that many toes.
No, you see that. You see it all of the memes and stuff. There was something. It was 365 times, one day for one scripture for every day of the year. That's the Lord comes out and says, "Fear not, for I am with you." Mm-hmm. And you don't need to fear when you go into a 4-step.
So then 1 John 4:18 says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. So there's another fear one for you.
I almost put that on the paper too.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
It would have been a really good one to put on there.
Luke 14:11. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted.
It's not fun being humbled by God.
It ain't easy, but nothing easy's ever worth it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is such a fun. I'm having fun working through steps because I love working steps anyway. I don't know why people don't like working them.
Because
They
the
are so
word,
much fun.
it's that word. Say it again.
Working?
Working.
Yep.
Nobody wants to do the work.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm doing a self-awareness group today, and we're discussing being the same person in public as you are in private. And I kind of really flipped it on them because they were like, no, only the people, and all people in public think that I'm always just a drunkard or an idiot, and the people in private know that I'm a good guy. I said, really? You went out and got high in public? No. So then your private people knew that you were the ones, that you were using and stuff. Like, well, yeah, okay. Let's get past that part.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is, can you be the same person in private as you are in public? And one of them actually came out and said yes. I said, how? You got to do the work. Dude, bells went off and everything.
Yep.
So I was like,
all right, have a good day, y'all.
finally,
Have a good day.
Somebody got it.
Yeah. We'll see ya.
As long as one gets it. That's all that matters.
I love when people say that when that light bulb does go off. They're like, yeah, you just got to do the work.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's it. I was like, oh, somebody's been here for a little while and is actually listening. I like that.
Tell him, Johnny, what does he want? Freedom.
You have won long-term sobriety. A chance at freedom from your past hurts, habits, and hangups.
It is, man.
Proverbs 13:10. Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. In closing, Derek, what do you got?
I understand that you could feel a certain way about doing the 4-step, but let me tell you, it is the most freeing step that there is, and it is the one that's going to set forth the rest of the steps. Don't be afraid. Pray it up. Get with your sponsor. Set up the 4-step and go through with it, man. It's worth every second you put on that paper.
And if you don't have a sponsor that believes in doing good and bad side, find you another sponsor.
It's time for a new sponsor.
Yeah. Either that or maybe you could change their mind a little bit. Because they might be the right person to walk you through it. Maybe they just didn't understand why you would have a positive to it.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. A sponsee just to write out a positive 4-step to show they sponsor. I think that would rock.
Sponsor's like, what is this for? Well, look, here's my character assets, and here's a positive. This keeps my head in a good spot so I don't go down a rabbit hole.
Right?
I like that. I'm going to show that my other sponsees.
Yeah. But the problem is we sponsor how we were sponsored.
Yeah, every time.
And so get out there and spread your wings. I know Will only has one sponsor, so hopefully he's learned a lot of really good stuff from that one person through these 15 years that he's been sober.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just like taking things from all these great sponsors that I've had along the way and just combine them and, pay attention to what God has. Mikey, what do you have?
Step 4 is about trusting the process as well. Don't forget to trust the process. You can't do 4 without doing 1, 2, 3. Like I said, step 4, and Derek said, and we've all said, it is the most freeing step there is until you get to 9, which we'll talk about in September. But no, it is really, really great to be able to humble yourself while also learning how to be a better version of yourself. And that is exactly what step 4 can do.
And only one way to find out how I could become a better version, that's to realize how I became the way I was.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why, man. I get so happy talking about the 4-step. I always have.
Luckily, we got 2 more weeks of it. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've always felt really good. I love the 4-step. So look, no reason to fear it. Embrace it.
Before we get off, I want to give a quick shout out to my wife because the day of this recording, happy anniversary, babe. If you watch this program,
Hey.
it was here today.
It's your anniversary.
It is.
And so we were dressed in some nice little suits
Yeah.
during our COVID time. He picked out a superhero
Of course he did.
wedding.
Did
you really?
I had a Superman tie, and then my best man had a Deadpool tie, and then his said like "Pow Bang Boom" on it, with the matching socks.
Oh, yeah.
And our socks
If you're going to
matched.
do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right. Everybody out there, we want you to don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Send us your messages. Don't forget to share us on your own social media. For Tactile Turn, thank you so much for being our supportive sponsor. And everybody here at Awake and Sober, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace. God bless.